Welcome back to another adventure. We're going to make a super cute springy basket with some tulips and greenery. The basket was, I think it was from Target actually, and all I've done so far was fill the top with pieces of styrofoam so that y'all didn't have to hear that. What we're going to do first is add some moss. This part is kind of messy, but it is definitely necessary. So we're going to just pull our moss, and we are going to use a good amount of it just so that, again, I don't want to see that foam. If you watched any of my other videos, you know that the more covered up your foam is, the less you have to spend in all the florals to add to your design. So it's messy, but it's definitely worth it. Especially it's nice when you have the green moss and the green foam. That kind of works out nice. I'm just going to stick it in there. It is going to hang over. It's going to be just fine. We're going to make it so that it doesn't move. I'm going to add a couple of U-pins right in there to make sure it doesn't move. And what I mean by that is, you're right, when I put in the stems, it's going to keep it. Yes, but when I put in the stems, it's also going to pull it away from the edge so that you see that foam, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of security to make sure what we have stays in place. And then everything else will just go right through the moss. And then, of course, a little bit on both sides. So I want it to not pull away on the side, away from the basket. One thing about this design is I obviously want to see the handles in this design. So I don't want to put too much. It's going to be a little airy in there. I don't want to put too much and have it, you know, hide those handles. So we want to keep those visible. Okay, perfect. And then I'll go through in the end when we're all done and trim up what we have left here on the side. So I know it's a top view, but you kind of get to see where the placement is, and I'll turn it on the side so you can see the height. But as far as where the colors are going and when, I want you to see that from the top. So one thing I already did, I pre-did, was I took one of our eucalyptus stems and plucked off each of these and added a pick to them here. If you don't have a pick machine, don't worry. On this one, all I did was add, you can buy these sticks at you can buy them at Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure Michael's for sure. I'm not sure where else, but I know that you can get them at Hobby Lobby. That's where I buy mine. And so it's just a stick, and it has a little bit of wire on the end. So instead of adding the metal pick, which is obviously super quick, you can definitely be using one of these. I did it this way for a very long time before I invested in a pick machine. Again, it's just so that, you know, this is obviously too tall to put in what we're doing. I wanted to be able to use just one of these, and when I pluck this off, this part isn't sturdy enough to go into the foam by itself. So you do need something different in addition. All right, so we're going to get started and add some of our color. Oh, and what I didn't do yet, I'm going to do just right now. This is an Astilbe, and here's how I'm going to get away with making this work for our design. So again, I'm just taking that one stem and making it into several, or two stems, making into several pieces, so that we don't have to use a whole bush going in there, because of course you saw how long they are. It's too long. So we're going to add those in simultaneously all together. So let's start with let's start with our purple actually. Wait, how many pieces do we have here? I guess it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 purple pieces. It looks like we have 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get those in first. Let's do the peachy pinky color and get those in, and we'll do, this one looks pretty tall. So let's go and add those in. I'm just going to add right to the back into the center. So we have 5 of these. Right to the back into the center, right in, straight down in, not too tall, but a perfect length coming out of the top there. Perfect. And then we'll go around with the other 4. Some of them we will make shorter so that they can come out of the side. You see, again, I'm going to take advantage of that, the fact that it's kind of already off to the side a little bit, and slice that right in there. Perfect. I just want to make sure none of the other ones were. Oh, this one kind of is. Let's put this one over on the other side too. So I'm just going to flank that because I know we have 5. Let's balance that color out. Let's open you up a little bit here. There we go. And then every time I put in, I'm definitely watching to make sure I'm balanced. So if I'm not balanced, especially with something I have 5 of, I'm not balanced, it's going to start to look really funny, really quick and easy. So, oopsie. I didn't want that bent. There we go. My first 5 pieces in, and then I think each of the 4 we'll just move around, and then of course we want to leave room for the bow. So nice little start there to go with our color. And then I'm going to start a little bit just so that I don't have to weave through. Let's go ahead and get one of those Astilbe pieces. Let's find our tallest one. Looks like it's this one. Let's get that right in the back. Since it's tall, and let it show up a little bit in the top. There we go. Here we are. All right, and then let's start with some of our purples, and just add those in here and there and in the front. Oopsie, sorry, I'm sorry. I have about 1 million alarms. Sorry about that. Okay, just looking for another spot. Balance this out just a little bit. I'm going to put this one, actually we might only put 3 of this. Put this one right in the front, and then I'm going to put a nice round of that greenery in to kind of start filling us. There we go. So 3 pieces, really cute. I'm going to go in some of our open spots and add some greenery. Now again, don't forget I am going to put a bow right in the front, on the side, and I definitely do not, my goal is to not hide our handles. It's not what I want to do. Okay, nice little start. Add a little bit more right to the center. Perfect. And these don't have to meet the top of the tulips, right? You just give it a little bit of dimension in there, can sink down in, which is totally fine, which is happening right now. Love. And then let's add in, oh, this is going to be so cute with the white. I love it. Adding in, looking where our gaps are, where our holes are. See, check out if I have any that automatically, oh, I do have some more over here, automatically have, you know, the droopy kind of, you know, where they're drooping off to one side. You know, sometimes you're looking at like, oh man, that stinks. But honestly, especially in situations like this, it's so helpful, you know, especially when you're talking about tulips. Tulips wilt. That's what they do. Tulips wilt. You know, if they, of course, I mean, I guess when you don't water them, give them fresh water, they wilt. I don't know. It depends on who you are, I guess. But it looks more natural, right? They're not just all perfectly up straight. Perfect. And then also, as I go along here, you can see I'm trying to not come past that sight line. Like, I don't want one, I do want it to look as realistic as possible, but I don't want one kind of going off on its own and completely going rogue on me, right? I do want it to be fairly balanced, fairly shaped well, if you will. And again, just keeping it airy is the plan here. Just keeping it airy. I do want a little bit more purple over here, so I am going to add that fourth one. Push it. Ugh, there we go. Just real airy, real easy. And then maybe another white down in front over here. All right, there we go, right back, there we go. Super cute for our kitchen counter, for your shelf. I don't know if you're like me, but I decorate for every season and, you know, have lots of spaces. We have lots of spaces for lots of things. And so this would be perfect for so many, especially, you know, you're going to Easter dinner or Easter brunch, whoever's hosting. This is a great little gift, of course. Don't forget our folks who are working hard to make sure we have a wonderful, let's add some of our white pieces in. Make sure we have a wonderful Easter meal gathering. In there just enough. Just enough. This over here on the side, just kind of wiggle it through. If you're looking for a list of any of our tools or things that we use, don't forget to check out the description of this video. It'll have links to where you can find some things. It'll have not all, but some of the SKUs for this piece, which is just darling, by the way. So here we are so far, just getting those pieces in. Right in the center. Again, don't lose sight of my basket. Also, if you have a needle nose pliers, it's going to help you do things like this. And get in where your little hands might not be able to get in. Just trying to see where we are here. Don't forget our bow. leaving a spot. I'm just leaving a spot. Okay, I have 2 more pieces. Let's wait until after our bow is done to maybe either for sure not use them or put them in the back or whatever we're going to do with them. Just kind of trimming that so it gets out of the way. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's make that bow. Clean our area so that our ribbon doesn't get yucky. Okay, I have two 1-inch, I think they're both 1-inch, 7/8. 2 7/8 inch ribbon, and they're both kind of luxury designer, if you will. I will have the SKU numbers to these. I'm going to just put that on an angle. So I love this one. It has the orange and yellow, which is really, really nice. And of course the polka dot has just the solid pink on the back. Really nice pieces, ribbons. And so we're going to use both of them at the same time. Challenge myself and you. And I know this is, we don't have any bright colors in here, but we're just going to add a little bit of bright. Just going to add a little bit of bright. Am I second guessing myself? Let me see. I really for sure want this one. Yeah, let's just do the pink. Why not? Okay. So what we're going to do first is measure where our tails are going to be. So we don't want them to come down and touch the table. The good news is I can always trim the tails. I can always trim the tails. So I'm going to just make sure that they're going to be long enough, because also once I pinch this and gather it and add the zip tie, it's also going to shorten it a little bit as far as where it's going to go. It's going to go right here in the corner. So I'm going to make sure I have enough to come down to where I kind of want, and then I can always, if it's a little tiny bit, I can always adjust off the bottom. So I'm going to just take those two at the same time and pinch it together, and then make my first loop. My first loop is going to be the smallest loop. My first loop is going to be the smallest loop. And then the other two, I'm going to make just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger. So use your force, use your patience, twist. Remember, I have that nice bright yellow and the orange. That one's just a little bit bigger. This one's going to be the same size, about the same size as that one. 2 at a time, 2 ribbons at a time. A little bit tricky, not impossible. A little bit tricky, not impossible. Come up just a little bit. Perfect. All gather behind so you have it all together in a nice stack there. Twist so that that twist ends up under your finger. I'm going to go ahead and just chop these. We can cut them accordingly later. Add my zip tie, like I said, right to that center. And I'm going to keep that zip tie right straight in the back. Straight in the back. Love, love, love. Okay, then I'm going to take our zip tie. I'm sorry, not our zip tie. Our, what is it called? U-pin. Take our U-pin, and I'm going to just slide it right through. Okay, so now I turn my ribbon into a pick. But before I do that, I'm going to shape it, because once it's in, I don't want to move it too much. I'm going to shape it. And once I have it kind of shaped, I'm going to pull those ribbons out just a little bit, just like we did in the last video. I'm going to pull them out just a little bit so that you can see they're both really, really good ribbons. So you should be able to fully pull them apart separate from each other if you wish, but I don't want it to be a big bow. I just want it to be a little, and I just want it to be a little bit separated from each other. I'm just going to pull those ribbons apart from each other a little bit. Okay. A little bit. And then we'll really form it once we have it in there. But I wanted to make sure I can do that separate so that we're not really messing too much once it's in. So then I'm going to put some glue here and go right into that corner, right where we want it to be. And then I'm going to hold it for a minute so that it, you know, kind of dries and stays in place. Okay, perfect. And then from the side, of course, you can see that yellow. It's really, really pretty. Just watch your little fingers there with your glue. For sure, don't let it get burned, and make sure you're going right into the foam. Okay, while I'm holding that, I'm just going to move those florals out a little bit so they don't all feel so crunched. Definitely making sure we can still see our basket, haven't lost sight of that. Just forming that a little bit. Really sweet. And that's a little bit long on that second one. Really cute from the front. I'll show you just one second. And just trim that a little bit, and this one a little bit. Absolutely darling. Those bows are so precious, especially since you can see, look how cute, especially since you can see the underneath and those really pretty colors, even the solid pink or the yellow, so precious. And then I think we'll just add our last little piece in here since it's here. Absolutely darling. Got another one right through here. Well, maybe not. I don't want to ruin what we got going on there. Well, it's cute. Let's put something in the back. So not a 360 design, definitely from the front kind of thing. But also okay to have. And we'll use our picked greenery also. Sometimes I still use those just because you see how much taller it can make it, right? So much taller. I'm just going to slide those underneath the bucket, underneath the handle, so that they're not totally sticking out like they are right now. Just gentle, so it goes where I want it to go. There we go, just like that. Adorable, super cute, perfect from the back. From the sides, it's not a great big giant thing, low profile, kind of from the if I lay it flat from the bottom to the top, it's about 12 inches, so it's not extremely tall. And then from the side, from the tip right to the tip, we're about also 12 inches. And then the width of it ends up being I mean, the bow sticks out pretty big, about 5.5 inches, right from the back profile to the tip here. But I'd say from about here to about 4 inches. So not a humongous piece, but really, really cute. I hope you've seen the other videos in our series that we have going on here. I know it's really close to Easter, but you can convert these and use them in all of your other themes, holidays, traditions, parties, all the things. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss another one of our videos. Again, it's Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. Learnfrommelissa.com is where you can find all of our social medias. Make sure you're on our newsletter. Of course, a copy of these videos are always sent to your email. So I hope you're following along there. And that is it. I appreciate you being here. I'm super happy. If you take and make one of these, make sure you take a picture and text it to us so I can see. Our phone number is 810-498-2310. Happy crafting, y'all, and I'll see you again in the next video.